What's happening, YouTube? Anthony on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film, and this right here is something I've been wanting to do since this was ever released. But ahead if Hasbro had continued the Power Rangers Lightning Collection and Megazord specifically, this is one of them. You know, this is like the only non-Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord they ever did in the Lightning Collection. So here I am with my review finally, and yeah, loosely finally, on my review on Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Astro Megazord from Power Rangers in Space, and let alone the last Megazord they ever did in this Zord Ascension Project line. And I don't know, like, the Lightning Collection was doing so well. It was doing so well. And, you know, I was really hoping, and I was excited when the Astro Megazord was revealed that, you know, I was happy that we would get this. But just wait until when I unbox it and show the scale of the thing compared to like the original 90s toy, which I don't have a comparison with. But I do have something similar to this Astro Megazord toy. And believe it or not, this model of the Astro Megazord, the, you know, Zord Ascension Project, was featured in the final episode of Cosmic Fury, and let alone the final overall episode of the original continuity of Power Rangers. And when I saw the, you know, of course they did show the Astro Megazord in CGI, just digitally scanning the Lightning Collection version for when all the 5 remaining Megazords, you know, faced off Zed's Z-Drill, you know, machines floating in space in the final episode of Cosmic Fury. And yeah, this is the exact same model they used. And I don't know, it's just like, this is the exact same model. And boy, I just kind of wish they could have continued the Lightning Collection if they could, because this Astro Megazord does look dope. Because again, after longing to get my hands on this thing since it was revealed in like 2022, 23, and then here I am, I finally have it in my disposal. Knowing In Space is one of my favorite seasons of Power Rangers, though the Astro Megaship was featured in both In Space and Lost Galaxy. And briefly as Mark II Astro Megaship for Forever Red and Wild Force. But this is part of Power Rangers in Space, because now that I have something, you know, now that I'm nearly completing up In Space as of this recording, but even though this review was shot out of order before I review the next couple of In Space figures later on down the line in the coming weeks and months before 2025 is up. And let's take a look at this slip, you know, slide the slip cover so we already know how it looks with the packaging, because if you already have the Astro Megazord or any of the Zord Ascension Megazords from the Lightning Collection already, but you know, this is going to be tough, because from what I've seen in reviews, that's probably because due to the amount of tape on some of the sides of the box, that's why it won't come out. And of course, this is brought brand new, it's not pre-owned or anything, so take it if you will. All I have to do is take off this amount of, you know, this side of tape off the side of the box so I can be able to see what's going on with this. And because I really wanted to get this out of the way, because man, they really should have never packed these boxes like this. Okay, well, let's just take it off this way, slide it off, but nope, there's still some more tape. I don't know why Hasbro just I don't know why. I just really don't know why they did the packaging for these Megazords with all this tape, and then you gotta slide the thing off, and it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. Yeah, because the Lightning Collection Megazords, they only released this and, of course, your same old Dragon Zord and Dino Megazord toys for this. And had they continued this line, we could have gotten more Megazords from other seasons, like a Lightning Collection Time Force Megazord, or Ninja Blaze Megazord, or the Wild Force Megazord in this kind of line. But they just really didn't want to do they just didn't want to continue, and I just really wanted to see how these look, see how this looks, because again, I've been wanting, like I said, I've been wanting to get my hands on this thing for a while, and ever since it came out. So it's going to be tough, because again, with all this tape on both sides of the box, the slip cover, and then you got to take this off. And I know the background's about to fall off because, again, it's just a tough box to break off, and I just don't understand why they want to do the packaging like this. Wait until when I get the Dino Megazord later. It's going to be the same issue too. It's just, don't tell me there's more tape. Unless I'll just rip this whole thing open and see what happens. It don't make no sense to... It's so hard to just take it off. No, okay. I just took it off like this because it's just too much damn tape. It's too much tape. And yeah, I like the, you know, I do like the printing and the graphic of how it looks, but wait until I put it together with the figurines and everything. But then this is where things get really tricky. This is where it gets really tricky, is now I gotta take more tape off this box. And I'm gonna hate doing that. Just picking it off, even though I already cut my fingernails, no offense, TMI, but why did they make this so hard to unpack? I don't get it. I mean, I could see if it was something from Transformers Studio Series or Marvel Legends, but nope. I know I'm moving the camera a little bit, but it is hard getting this unboxed. And then this is where it gets really hard and where it gets really tough. Angled up. Okay, here we go. Trying to slide this box off. Unboxing. See, it wasn't so hard, but here's the graphic of the Megazord fighting Ecliptor. You know, that's some nice artwork. That's real nice. We'll think about keeping the box for some time, but not for long. And then here's the printing graphic of the cockpit of the Astro Megazord, just like in the show. God, this background is just... And some of it did peel off on the tape peeled off. So this is what the graphic... This is, you know, just like in the TV show. Anytime we see them in the Astro Megazord, this kind of printing of the cockpit graphic. Okay. And then here's the big one. The ship is like this, and then the accessories are probably in this little small box. I can tell. Look at all the contents that are in this box. Like, oh my god. Like, well, just wait until when I get, like, Dino Megazord later. And then here's the instruction manual for this. More cardboard. And I could tell Astro Megazord Saber is in here. And boy, this is huge. Like, real huge. Okay. Throw away the tissue paper. Fists. Okay. What's in here? Probably like miniature figurines of the Rangers. I mean, I mind the miniature figurines, but I just... Yeah, the miniature figurines of the Rangers. If I can get them out. Here's some of them, but I'm missing the Black Ranger, but that's alright. Really, I don't really want those little mini figures of the Rangers. And this is part of the shuttle. Actually, that forms the Astro Megazord's blaster, just like in the series, and also, I guess, part of the... Yeah. And then, the two additional other hands for the Megazord. Oh, that's cool. But this is what I'm really excited for. Just with this piece of paper. It's like, oh my goodness, look at the chrome on this thing. Like, wow. Man, just looking at the size of this thing. If this is the kind of Astro Megazord I should have gotten back in 1998 when I was 5 going on 6 years old when In Space was out, I would have been surprised. But yeah, just like the original 90s toy, it does have all this die-cast chrome. on it, but this is more premium grade. What we had back in the 90s was, well, you know, kid-friendly chrome on toys, but this is more highly detailed as opposed to what we had back then. But I mean, again, for someone who didn't have the original Deluxe Astro Megazord back in the day, this does make up for it. But let's take a look at how it looks without all of the unnecessary packing and stuff on my background, even though some tape had peeled off on the bottom. After a very difficult unboxing, let's take a look at every single piece of content that came with the Lightning Collection Astro Megazord. But oh my goodness, like 1998 kid me, age 6, would have been wowed to death if Bandai ever did the Astro Megazord in this kind of scale. Well, actually take that back, because back when In Space did come out and when it was airing, there was this very rare jumbo-sized Astro Megazord, which is impossible to find on eBay. You're going to find like mostly the immediate 8-inch Astro Megazord, and then of course the your usual, iconic, fan favorite deluxe toy that combines with the Delta Megazord, which I used to have. Again, if we had continued the if Hasbro continued the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, like I said earlier, and if we had more of In Space, we could have gotten a Lightning Collection like, Delta Megazord, Lightning Collection Mega Voyager, Lightning Collection Mega Winger. And we would have gotten all of the Zords from In Space, all, in the set. We could have gotten them all. Yeah, because I just don't understand, like, of all the Megazords that they did in the collection, they had to make this the big one. They had to make it so huge because, Mega, has a totally different meaning when it comes to, In Space with Astro Megazord, and considering the Sentai counterpart, of Denji Sentai Mega Ranger, with Mega to everything in Mega. But yeah, but just like, it is mega huge, pun intended, but I just can't believe that. I think they went overboard on the scaling on this thing, as opposed to if I had the Dino Megazord from the exact same line of these Zap Megazords, it wouldn't even come close to the scale of this gargantuan spaceship, and they just really, like, damn, Hasbro. I mean, I like what you did with this thing, but it is way so big. Like, this could be a more useful model to use for, coming up when I do more fan film projects of Power Rangers, In Space, and mainly Lost Galaxy. Basically, I should use this model for future fan film projects of Power Rangers. Nothing against the original 90s toy, but I just think this feels more something up to date to use for something as an adult Power Rangers fan. Yeah, let's go over the accessories. Of course, as earlier, there's these interchangeable hands. You got the Astro Megazord with these wide hands, and then the folded hand where it holds the saber and also the blaster gun. Take this Astro Megazord saber, and oh my goodness, like, they really had to make this so huge, like real huge. And I'm trying to figure out how it can fit in the hand. It's just so tough. I guess maybe this is supposed to be like the ball fist, but it's going to be tough. And so this is how it would look with the Megazord saber in the hand. But yeah, the Astro Megazord saber is well done and well sculpted and painted and everything too. So you can also get the team insignia on the back, on front and the back of the thing. Whoop. And yeah, I really like that. And then the blaster gun that goes to the thing. That's well nice, and I think this is where this is supposed to go to, because again, for someone who has seen In Space, these side pieces go to the blaster gun. I'm trying to see what goes appropriately and what side each. If you snap this together, there you have that piece. Complete the blaster fully. Just make sure you put these pieces in the ports. Whoops. Okay, that snapped in, and so did this. And there you have the Astro Megazord blaster. Just like that. The shuttle, which forms the head. So let's take a look at that head. You just gotta fold it. Yeah, it looks a little... Oh, dang, that had to happen. Make sure the... Yeah, but you know, this problem here is that, you know, the joints to fold the head, now the Megazord head is kind of bald. I don't know how that happened. I'm trying to put it back into the holes in the joints. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, I've started to notice some difficulty with this Megazord, is that while it's huge in scale and size, they really shouldn't have with what they did, making it so, you know, huge and long like that. It's, I don't know, it's just, they really should have never made it so huge like that. I'm trying to get it, you know, to, you know, make the head, it's just maybe I'm not doing nothing right. Because, you know, common sense. This is how the head would go. You know, had if this was still the 90s toy, which this, of course is not the 90s toy, get over it. And just gotta snap the joint back in so I can fold the head back up. I don't know, it's just the difficulty of this thing. It's just like, I had it in the joint. I had it in the joint. Okay, I think I got it back in. Nope. Yeah, they really should have never made it so difficult. Again, this is the first time owning something of this scale and size of the Megazord and try to get the head formation together. Of course, this is what it would be as the shuttle. And, oh yeah, this is the back piece for the thing. I keep forgetting. Because again, I haven't watched Power Rangers in space in a while. Last time I binge watched the season, it was like a few years ago. And this is how the shuttle would form as the head, because again, the whole body is the Megazord. The shuttle is just the head. So you have the Astro Megazord head, just like that. But then, we gotta take a look at this big Goliath of the Astro, that is the Astro Mega ship itself. I like the detailing on this thing. I really do like the die cast, the chrome, you know. Well, again, the original 90s toy for us kids, you know, when we were kids, we had to put stickers on this thing, but they actually did a good job sculpting in detail very well to make sure this doesn't feel like a kid's toy anymore, and it's more for, you know, fans like me who's now old enough to remember the season and old enough to own something higher end with all of this chrome and detail and sculpting to it. But yeah, this is so huge. Let's take a look at how it looks in the style of the Megazord. In other words, we need Astro Megazord power now. How I'm going to form the Astro Megazord, you're just going to do this. Obviously, you start with the legs, which is, you know, this part, because this part of the Megazord is the leg, and you know, the front part of the ship. I think you got to take off the disc that forms the shield. I think, yeah. And then you take the arms and these flaps right here. Okay. Try not to break it or anything. And then these latches. Okay, we're trying to get this open. Come on, come on, come on. I think you do have to take the legs open. Open the legs first. How do you even do this? Because again, I never owned a transforming Astro Megazord before. Okay, I got it. So you open it apart, revealing the upper part of the Megazord. Okay, so you gotta, it's very loud too. Then we detach it from this section, both sections. You know, you gotta flip the arms open so we can get the legs open. Okay, I got it. Okay. Because it's just like in the show. And then I gotta get the leg together somehow. Trying to get it together. Okay. And I'm surprised the abdomen to the thing moves. But man, I'm just like, you know, nervous of how to get this to, you know, get this combine, you know, transforming, because this is a huge Megazord. Like, why did they make the Astro Megazord so big like that? I really don't know. Yeah, I'm also have some difficulty, so give me a moment with that. Okay, so I had the, you know, flap the arms in, so that way I can, and also stretch out the arms so it can relax to go into the ports to transform. But I'm still having difficulty getting the legs to turn, you know, legs to turn so it can, you know, stand. And yeah, because I'm just like, why did they make this thing so, like, again, why did they make it so big is anyone's guess. You can see why they stopped the Lightning collection for good measure. Please don't tell me, please don't tell me. Okay, so I guess what I think has to be done is, yeah, I'm struggling to get the legs to, like, I don't know why they did it like this. And it becomes a very frustrating, it's already frustrating for me because, again, I didn't have this before at all as a toy in any capacity. So you go ahead, and I like, what do you gotta do, take the legs apart? Nope, I don't want to take the leg apart. I'm trying to figure out, maybe I need to look at the manual for a moment and see how I can get this right. According to the manual, I have to turn the legs to 90 degrees, I think, in order to get this right. And trying to get it right like this. Because again, it's just been forever since I, you know, seen in space and how the Megazord always transformed. So you got to turn the legs, I guess, this way, the only way for this to work. And turn this over, I guess. Nope. I mean, I swear I got it. Okay, wait a minute, I'm getting somewhere, but man, they just really made it so tough. Okay, I got it, but it was just so tough to turn it. So I got, okay, I did that leg, now I just got to turn the other leg the same way. Close this. Okay, flap down. Put this flap down. Okay. Keep turning the leg until it goes into the same direction as the other leg. Have that foot stand. And then turn it again. Okay, maybe, okay, I got it, folks. I got it. And there we go. Close that foot. Okay, the latch, this. Then get this up. Okay, turn the fists around, and then this is where we get to the part of putting the shuttle put the shuttle head on the Megazord, just like this, Make sure it goes into the port, and then, oh man, I'm scared to break it. One moment. Yeah, I know, parts of this review I've been doing it out of anger. I don't know why. So, okay, so I managed to get the back end of the shuttle head, get into the two ports in the back of the Megazord. But I'm just trying to get the head in together, snap it on and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess so, but it's just the head is a little wonky. So I think you gotta fold the arms in, fold the arms out a little bit more, I guess, again, or I think this is just how it goes. So there you go, folks. The most gigantic Astro Megazord ever conceived in a Power Rangers toy line. What are the odds? So yeah, look at the size of this thing. Like, why did they made it so big? Like, again, I still like this thing. I still like the the Lightning Collection Astro Megazord. But why did they made it so big? Like, it was, I mean, the original 90s toy wasn't like this. But why the heck did they went overboard on the size of the thing? It would make sense if we had a much bigger Megazord of its gargantuan size, like, you know, Thunder Megazord from Season 2 Mighty Morphin, or the Shogun Megazord, but this just doesn't cut it. Like, for them to make it, you know, huge like that, it's weird. Of course, if you want to change the hands, you could do that, you know, just for, you know, for demo purposes. I'm not going to show off the whole thing. And of course, this is supposed to be like parts of the shield. I think I'm missing some pieces for that. I'll get around it. If you want to take these interchangeable hands out and say you want the Astro Megazord do this hand gesture similar to like a Gundam, because, you know, one of the things I always liked about the Astro Megazord, it did resemble, you know, that, you know, combining Optimus Prime from Transformers and a Gundam. But you're not really going to get much posability, I believe. But I think maybe when you spread the arms out, you'll probably get some spread arm movement. You can turn the head, the shuttle head around, and you can pose it in some degree. Something like this, for instance. And then you have, yeah, that kind of gesture pose. And let's take a look at it with the Megazord saber in hand. And get that fist that I had it in. So you put the saber in, but make sure you get it through the hand firmly. So let's put that hand for the Megazord holding the saber. Make sure it goes into the port, the hand port, you know, interchangeable hand port. And then you have the Astro Megazord with the saber in its hand. So, okay, you got that gesture. Now, on the other hand, we do need to see how it looks with the blaster in the left hand. So take the ball fist, take that ball fist out, and then take a look. Sorry about that. That had happened. And then make sure it goes into, you know, the grip of the gun goes in its hand, just like that. So, there you go. So you got both the Megazord. Oh, damn. That sucks. Then you get, gotta put it into the hand grip. Make sure it's in all the way. Whoops. Yeah, and that's another thing I've noticed about the Lightning Collection Megazords and why it didn't do well. Parts of the Zords are going to break off, and it's not really good. Not really good at all. Like, what was going on with Hasbro when they did this? I'm not saying it's a waste of money, it's something I've always wanted, but here you go, I got it. Astro Megazord, just exactly like how we've seen it in the show. You gotta admit, this was worth a collector's item. It's worth the money that I paid for, but it is really huge. But at least it's not like, you know, freakishly tall and huge like the 5-in-1 combining Megazord for the 2017 movie was. But this was kind of appropriate, but at the same time inappropriate given its scaling as opposed to Q Renault, aka Cosmic Fury Megazord, in comparison. But my goodness, I mean, when you bring this guy out, it just make the, you know, what is the Cosmic Fury Megazord look like a wuss in comparison. But oh my god, and when I just reviewed this recently when compared to this. But at least this is tolerable, unlike, again, the 2017 movie 5-in-1 combining Megazord. But then again, that's how big this thing is. And you can see why this was the last Megazord Hasbro ever put out in the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. I don't even know why they even stopped at this. When we could have gotten the rest of the Mighty Morphin Megazords, we could have gotten a Zeo Megazord, a Turbo Megazord in this scale, but, you know, Mega Voyager and stuff like that. But you know, mainly all the Zordon era Megazords, because if they were not going to continue the rest of the line and continue doing Megazords of this size and scale, because they figured that if they did a I mean, this is basically the equivalent of a leader class transformer, but if it had all of this, you know, $120, $140, $160 die-cast chrome, you know, put onto the thing, and imagine having an Optimus Prime with this kind of chrome on him, or a leader class Megatron. But I mean, for what it's worth, I do like this Astro Megazord, and I think some parts of it is better than the 90s toy, because for someone who didn't own it, because, you know, given how I was back then as a kid with Power Ranger toys then. But even when you shimmer it in light and see all that chrome and die-cast put to this thing, yeah, it's real great. But at the same time, I can see why they stopped the Lightning Collection right here with the Lightning Collection Megazords with this one, because they knew that this was going to be big. If they had made it like this, it was probably where they were going to call it stops with doing more Megazords in the line. And I really wish they never made it so freakishly big. I mean, imagine if they did this with the Delta Megazord and Mega Voyager, that this had continued for in space. And even same go, but yet when you look at Mighty Morphin and its Dino Megazord, I mean, I've seen the scaling of their Dino Megazord compared to the Astro Megazord. Like, Dino Megazord was kind of like, I don't know, a Voyager class Transformer scale, or not, I wouldn't say deluxe class, because again, I don't have the Dino Megazord on me as of this recording, but it's just kind of up there to that scaling, is all I'm saying. It's kind of weird that they put it in this scale. But for what it's worth, in my last thought on it, as much as I love the Astro Megazord, as much as it's still one of my favorite Megazords to this day in Power Rangers, it's so big. It is so tall. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I don't have that 5-in-1 2017 movie Megazord right now on me, or the 2017 interactive movie Megazord either, to compare this with in scaling, in terms of scale and size. So that's it for my review on the Zap Lightning Collection Astro Megazord from In Space. And man, like, you can see why they stopped right here with this one on the Megazord front for the Lightning Collection. So let me know what you guys think about this, and let me know what you want to see in the future, for, you know, since I do have plenty of Power Rangers Lightning Collection reviews to cover before it's time for me to retire collecting Power Ranger toys. So let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, or even despite my struggle, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time with another Power Rangers, you know, review, or any other means to come.